Okay, we're going to go from the start to finish scan of a F100 stereo bezel. Alright, I'm in Lite Studio. This is version 2022 519. So that's the latest of the CR Lite that I know of. Okay, so I'm in handheld mode. I like to use texture because texture throws out some light. So I'm going to go ahead and go probably a 3 and let's see what this does. Okay, I'll kick off the scan. Hold it here and see what the preview looks like. Yeah, that looks great. So I'm just waiting. Alright. Slow and steady. Nothing too drastic. Not very hard for this scanner to do. I am using the turntable for just basically background noise. Come around the side. Get in that groove. Not lost tracking, but it said it should pick up. I'm a little too close, so I backed up. We'll go back over this front edge. Get in that corner. Okay, I'm going to hit stop. That's all I need for this particular scan. Going to do its thing and process for a little bit. Now this system is running 16 gigabytes of RAM. You can see that's not even pegging the RAM, but this is an older computer, so it is pegging the CPU pretty hard. If we go ahead and go into Task Manager, we can just see how hard it's smacking this guy. There we go. So you can see that it's not really using a lot of memory. I mean, 16 gigabytes of RAM when it's processing, it does use most of that. But for the scanning, it's mostly CPU trying to keep up for tracking or whatnot. I have gone as far as 4,500 or 4,600 frames scanned, and it did fine. It took a while for doing all the tracking, but let's see it. All right, it's already done 50%. Now, I want to put on stress one thing. I use texture mode. I find it throws light in dark areas a lot better. But I also turn the brightness up. And if you watch in the display pane, it's going to show like red, like where you're saying it's blown out. Well, I mean, it looks like it's getting that area just fine. So normally, to avoid having to cut this out, you can do two things. You can do multiple scans, like scan another one from this side, and then let it auto cut. Which, you know what, but I really only need this face right here. But you know what, I can do that. Let's just do that. Um, we're doing it in real time. I flipped it on its side. Go ahead and do scan. I've got several F100 videos, so go ahead and do this one more time. Okay, it's going to go preview. So first I'm going to go up top, countdown, wait for it to display. Get in the table purposely so it can not lose tracking. Went too fast. Trying to get that side piece. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to get the table. That's usually like a sacrifice. Oh, well, it flopped down on the ground, so that screwed up that scan. Alright, so let's just ignore that. So this is my fault. Like, the piece actually fell. So, in light of that, I'm actually going to go back and rescan this prompt. So, I'm going to rescan this. As soon as this is done, that's the only problem that I have with the software is that when it runs into problems, you can't just stop the scan. So let's just ignore this. Let's just delete this guy. Alright. Now I'm going to rescan this one more time. I just flipped it on its back. And let's see if we can get this to scan. Try to get the table in the frame. Like this. See how the table has a lot of geometry, so it doesn't get confused. So I'm going to go ahead and finish scanning this. And notice a lot of the developer spray that already came off because I've already touched this piece about 80 different times. So I'm getting that side. And I'm sitting down, by the way. So, little tip, if you need to reposition yourself, start scanning the table. So, if it double scans that area, who gives a crap, right? You're just getting it to, so you can get this part completed. So I always scan, over scan, like the table on purpose. Okay? So I like to throw it up in the air. If you throw it up in the air, it can't scan anything. Well, it's not, your screen count doesn't raise. I'm actually holding the scanner straight up in the sky. And hit stop. Wait for this to complete. And of course, because I am running a screen recording application, it is taking some of my bandwidth, so be mindful of that. This is a pretty good scan. I do not think it's going to auto-align just for the simple fact of what it's trying to do. So let's just see. I don't think it's going to get the complete picture. I was trying to put it up on this face, but it has a little bit of a lip and it's unstable, and that's what we were scanning the second time, and it flopped down on the side. So let's go ahead and get this complete. Okay, and see how I was talking about trying to scan the table? This is your wasted area. So if you're going to try to lose track here, lose track here, don't lose track here. It's going to recover pretty well on these letters that are reflective and whatnot, but you want to get as much of this data as clean as possible. Okay, again, these are my fingerprints because I already took the developer spray. Oh, and if you need to pivot, hold down the shift key and you can pivot. Sometimes it loses that ability, but sometimes if you just need to rotate, just hold down your shift key and you can do that. Alright, so we got 2 scans. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get these 2 processed, okay? So, hit process. And it may pick up the table. sometimes it's pretty smart to pick that up. I'm not going to turn on Texas mapping. If I really wanted this high resolution, I would bump up 2 more. I'm just going to leave it at the defaults. Alright, yeah, so that looks like dog crap. So it's telling you to calculate the ground. So what you want to do is select, okay, and I always keep doing that. I accidentally hit shift. Do alt, circle around that, circle around that. For some reason it's not. Okay, control, circle, circle. I'm trying to get 3 spots of this table. Okay, so it's going to calculate ground. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't think that's going to work out really good at all. But let's just see what it does. Let's just get it to process. Normally I would have cut out both the floors, but on this Lite I actually messed up that step. I'm going to go back as soon as this fails. Yeah, it didn't align. Crap. Alright, so manual alignment. Exit auto mode. Okay, so I'm going to focus at one at a time. Okay, so now that you're in the old tools, you can do some cool stuff. Alright, so what I'm going to do is modify. You go here, and then we can go ahead and calculate basement selection. So control, control, calculate base. Yeah, see, I don't like how it's selected so much. Okay, reset that. Okay, so you can do this in steps. So I'm going to hit control, delete this, calculate. I don't know why it's not actually working right now. So let's just do it. Let's do it this way. Reset. And hit control. Come on. Hit delete. So it's going to go pretty much a straight line. Alright, so that took out a good chunk of that mess. Alright, and then I'm going to hit control. Delete. Control. Delete. Delete. That already. So center, mouse click. So there is a bug in the software. Now I'm just trying to pivot, and all of a sudden it's lost exactly where its moment of center is. I just work around it. But now let's calculate this. Okay, so now we're gonna go control, 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 and then let's calculate this. There we go. So it is taking some of the part that I don't want. We can make the tolerance level like a 2. Oh, that's good. See, the 2 didn't get much into the part, but it selected all that. So I'm gonna hit delete. I'm gonna hit delete. Guess it's thinking about it. Delete. Okay, deleted it that time. Okay, well, it left me with some junk, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Control, Delete, Control. Tried to get fancy and it bit me in the ass. Alright. Okay. Delete. Okay, so this guy is pretty much, well, alright, so I'm getting it on that plane right there. And I want to try to do a straight line across. Delete. Got a little bit of junk. I'm not going to chase this 100% because I'm already doing too much because I only need the inside of this. So I'm just basically doing this for your viewing pleasure. Okay. Okay, I think I'm done with scan 3. So I'm trying to go scan 1. I'm like, what's going on? Sometimes this won't load. Sometimes you actually have to click load. Okay, so now let's see how bad this guy is. See? It's not so bad. So let's go ahead and put it on the plane that we know we don't need. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control and get rid of all this junk. Okay. Yeah, see, it's stuck in that. It doesn't know which plane I'm in now. I'm sure it's probably a hotkey since I used the shift key a few times and it's confused the hell out of it. So let's go ahead and you gotta select 3 points. Control and circle. Control and circle. See if we can calculate that. Hey, let's try to do 1. Hey, that looks pretty good. Let's just delete that. And delete. Okay. And the part that I only need is this area right here. So again, I'm only focusing on this spot, but I'm doing the rest for the video. Okay, so control, getting real close. That looks terrible. We're gonna go with it. I can try to get this out. Let's see if I can just get a straight line across. Yeah, it's about as straight as. That's just getting rid of some of the junk. Yeah. Okay. Alright, you get the point. You can spend as much time as you want. I only need from here to here to here. Because I'm doing the delete for a customer. Alright. There's my 2 pieces. Let's go ahead and see. And I'm just curious. It may actually try to align. Let's see if it does it. I doubt it, but it's worth a try. And that looks terrible. Apologize, my earbud fell out. Manual alignment. Exit auto mode. So I'm going to take this part. Right click here. That anchors one of them. So I should be able to hit Alt and move that guy. And now I need to turn him around because this is how he goes. I need to get him. Ah. Okay. Okay, so now let's see if we can get those two pieces to line up. So first thing we're going to do create mark pair and make sure that I have, yeah, see it's going to drive me nuts trying to get that configured right, but I wish I could change that portion, but I'm stuck. So I'm going to create a marked pair. I'm going to right click here, and I'm going to actually, it is going to be right here. No. Let's clear that because it's supposed to be. All right there. Create a matched pair, and that would be this is really terrible scan. Now I'm gonna try to do one more thing. This is going to be and this is probably not gonna align well. Oop. That's right, I need to do it on this side. Okay, let's see if this works. And I had it wrong. I had it backwards. It did it, but it's 180 degrees. Come on. Out of phase. Alright, so let's reset this guy. Let's take. Let's see if I can't just put them both like this. So I'm not getting completely confused. Okay. So this is clearly the bottom. So it'd be right here. So let's create market pair right here. See how this works. Alright, well, let's just try something. Reset, change it to auto align. Here we go. Well, if you get it somewhat close, it will try to get it somewhat close. And that's pretty. That's pretty close. Yeah. Mm, oh, for the love of God, that pivot point. I wish I could change that. But yeah, it's still kind of awful, but let's just process it. Do not fill holes because I have holes. Most of your frustration will come from aligning. And again, I'm just going to go with it. I don't think it's perfect. I'll readdress it later. You really need more scans for this because you're doing two shells and the side is actually pretty dirty because I took the fingerprints off. But let's just see what it does. Yeah, looking a little bit better. Let's get tried to line up both of those. So let's see how it goes. Usually you can watch it while it's doing this in real time. And again, your CPU gets taxed. RAM, not so much. I'm only using RAM at 4 gigs most of the time. So again, 8 gigabytes should get by. If you have a kick-ass CPU, then the RAM shouldn't be that big of a deal. I have pegged it a few times, but alright, let's see how bad this looks. Yep, so we can see that it got off center right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit this. And yeah, that looks sure. Well, those holes look pretty good. I have what I can use because I can use these points. And then some people like to have the textures displayed. I don't understand. They're like, oh yeah, it looks perfect. Just turn off the dang filters so you can actually see what the image looks like because those filters are just terrible. So to rule all this out, I'm going to go ahead and that's that fusion. The part that I need is this guy. I'm just going to process this one. Let's just go ahead and get this one going. Rule out any misalignments or anything like that. Because the part area that I need to go ahead and get my job done is this section right here. I can go back and play and do better scans, but I really just need, and see, look how that looks a lot better. Now right there, I can work with that. And now, oh, you know what I did? I filled holes. So don't fill your holes, people. Process. Hate that that's always on. All right, let's do this again. Again, I'm doing this live, so if I make mistakes, we make mistakes. believe I left that fill hole. It almost looked perfect. Alright, so exit. And like I said, this is where it's kind of, so I have those holes, I have those holes, those holes. So if I was going to actually work from it, I don't care about this back half. That's kind of hard to get all 4 of these lined up. But for what I'm trying to do, this is actually going to be perfectly fine. Do I wish I could like pop this into my slicer and print now? Yeah, I hoped it would, but that's frankly a lie. 'Cause look at this noise. It's a lot of noise for a 0.05 resolution. Accuracy. Yeah, sure. All right, well, that's the STL. And if you want to export, so like I said, this is the fill holes. This is the one where we tried to align the two. Here's the new one. I think that looks better for what I need to use it for. If you're going to put it all together, I really needed more time and better scans. But if I want to export this out, select the one that you need, go to File, and Export, and you have several versions. You can do this OBJ or STL. I'm going to just do STL F100, and we're going to do A. And I'm going to try to navigate to that. All right. And that's what she looks like. I'm going to be modeling a delete plate that goes here. It's going to be reusing these holes for a customer. So this actually works out perfect for me, so I can get that angle, this angle perfect. He wants it to look OEM. And he's going to be reusing this bezel, so it needs to fit flush in here. So that's what I'll be using it for. Alright, and that's it. Thanks for watching.